Hey music fans, and welcome to Sound Lab Studios. It's been a little bit since I've made a video. I've been doing my Genesis reviews with Jacob Martin, but that's pretty much the only videos I've been making lately. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different. I'll start out by kind of giving you an update on what I'm going to be doing on the channel, which I might cut out and make its own video, but we'll see. So a few months ago, I announced I was going to be semi-retiring from YouTube and dropping out of a lot of series. Oh, never mind. I've rejoined a lot of those series with my friends, and we're going to be starting some new ones coming up pretty soon. Nick and Briar and I are going to be starting a series through David Bowie, so that will be fun. And we're also planning on doing a series on Rush with the main 5 people on the channel, so that will be fun as well. Today, though, I'm starting a new series inspired by my friend Jason the Old Millennial, and that is my 100 favorite albums. Now, let me give a little preface here. I called it my 100 favorite albums because I don't want to call it the 100 greatest albums of all time. Somebody's going to say, what? You don't have insert album here. I'm going to give an example. Are You Experienced by Jimi Hendrix is not on this list because it's my personal favorite. I love that album to death. It would be in my top 200 favorite albums, but this is just like my top 100 favorite albums. Another thing I need to warn everybody about is that you're probably going to see a lot of albums by the same several artists a lot. It's just what I like. Third thing that I need to say is that this list is subject to change. Since you're going to see a lot of albums by the same artists, if a certain album that you like that doesn't appear on this list, it's probably because I haven't gone through that artist yet, and that might appear if I make a revision. This is just kind of intended to be a list for this particular time, October of 2024. And maybe I'll make another updated video later on, but I am going to do something a little bit different, though, than Jason the Old Millennial. What he did in his video series is he did 1 album per video. Since the list is subject to change, I am doing 10 albums per video so that maybe we can get through this video series a little bit faster and so that the list will be able to change sooner. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get to my top 100 favorite albums of all time. Oh, here's Nick from Townsend 505. Okay, he's got a plane to catch. We'll have fun. I know he went to Universal Studios the other day, so that sounds fun. Let's go ahead and start with number 100. Number 100 for me is going to be this album right here, The Court of the Crimson King by King Crimson. Now, I had no idea what this album was, and I looked up lists of greatest albums of all time, and I saw this cover, and I was like, what is that? So I was afraid to listen to this album for a while because I'm like, this is such a weird album cover. You look on the back, it's like his cheekbone gets extended 5 times. And then in the inside, it's creepy too. There's like this face. It's going ooh. But when I was going through progressive rock earlier this year in January, February, March, I was listening to a lot of Yes. I listened to a lot of ELP, and so I was looking up what's other good progressive rock bands. And King Crimson was on the list, so I thought, let's go ahead and give a listen to this album. Fantastic album. I will say this is the only album by King Crimson that's going to be on this list. Oh, Briar really likes that album as well. Yeah, this is the only album by King Crimson that's going to be on this list. It's my favorite album by them. It's number 100. It's good, but it ranks lower on the list because of one particular song, which I will talk about in just a second. I'm going to go track by track. So the first track on this album is 21st Century Schizoid Man. This album cover perfectly displays the lyrics of that song. A lot of songs on this album are about the Vietnam War and about the 21st century coming up and kind of paranoia that apparently people will be going through in the 21st century. And oh my goodness, this song is amazing. I love Robert Fripp's guitar line on there. And the horns are really cool. The horns are done by Ian McDonald, who, funny enough, would go on to join Foreigner later in his career. And I love the manic middle section that's like oh, I forgot to mention, this is the album where Greg Lake from Emerson, Lake and Palmer got his start. He was the lead singer for the first two albums for this band, and then he went to join Emerson, Lake and Palmer after that. But yeah, really cool opening track, 21st Century Schizoid Man, probably my favorite song on the album. And then I Talk to the Wind, which is an amazing ballad. Greg Lake's singing is very good. Really good flute playing from Ian McDonald. And then you get Epitaph, which is like, wow, definitely my second favorite song on this album. Really cool Mellotron playing on that. Cool build-up section in the middle. Great vocals from Greg Lake. Like, it's an epic song. You flip the record over, you get this song called Moonchild, which this is the reason this album is lower, is because the first half of that song is okay, but then it gets into this weird freeform jazz kind of thing where they're just playing who knows what. Apparently, even the guitar player Robert Fripp said he thinks that song is even too weird, which he never says anything is weird, and a lot of stuff from this band is really weird, so you know it must be weird if he says it's weird. But then it gets better at the end. Title track, Court of the Crimson King rocks. And then there's just like some weird whistle noises at the end of this album. It's very ahead of its time. This came out in 1969, and it sounds like it could have come out in like the mid-70s. So, number 100, Court of the Crimson King. Sorry, I got some allergies. Number 99, we had another connection to Greg Lake. And you have Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Brain Salad Surgery. This is going to be the only album from Emerson, Lake and Palmer on this list. There's the back. This definitely has the most unique cover of any of the albums on my list. Yeah, there's like this lady who's trapped in a skull mummy case or something like that. I'm going to have to get the record out so that I can see the track listing. There it is. Yeah, there's the record. I need to look at it to see the track listing. This album is just mind-blowing. Mostly because of the synthesizer playing from Keith Emerson is just insane. There's like an old English hymn, Jerusalem, that starts out the album, which is kind of a fake out because after that you're greeted with Toccata, which is it's a classical piece that was arranged by Keith Emerson for the Moog synthesizer, and it's just 7 minutes of madness. Still You Turn Me On is Greg Lake's song, and if you're not familiar with ELP, Emerson was kind of the classically inspired avant-garde keyboardist, and then Lake was the more traditional singer. Since he was the singer, when he wrote a song, it was more traditional. So Still You Turn Me On is more of like a ballad. And then you get Benny the Bouncer, which is like weirdness. I don't like that one as much. But then the rest of the album is Carnival 9. I'm going to go ahead and put this back. Carnival 9 is like one of the most out there and experimental songs I've ever heard. It's 30 minutes and takes up the second half of side 1 and the entirety of side 2. So that's kind of crazy. And it's where you get the famous, "Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends." Great musicianship. It's kind of about AI taking over, so very foretelling in this album. Number 99, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. We got number 98, how about The Boss? Bruce Springsteen, Born in the USA. This is one of 2 Bruce albums that's going to make this list. Really good album. Title track is classic, even though it's very misunderstood. A lot of people think it's patriotic when it's really a war protest song. And it's not even my favorite song on the album. Like, there's a lot of songs I like even better than Born in the USA. Cover Me, love that song. Got a great groove, great guitar on there. Darlington County is great. Working on the Highway. Downbound Train. I'm on Fire is a very short song, very creepy song, but it's really good. No Surrender, that's a great song. I'm Going Down. Glory Days. My favorite song on this album is Dancing in the Dark. Such a catchy song. And then it ends with My Hometown. Yeah, pretty much every song on this album is a big hit for The Boss. Really good album. Had to have that on the list. So we're going to have most of the progressive rock here and near the bottom. Well, I say most of the Genesis ones are going to be up higher. But we got the Yes album coming in at number 97. The Yes album. So this is kind of where Yes kind of finds their sound. You got most of the key players in the band on this album, other than it's Tony Kaye instead of Rick Wakeman. Rick Wakeman would join on the next album. Yours Is No Disgrace. Really cool way to open the album. And then you got this instrumental by Steve Hale called The Clap. Starship Trooper is epic. I love Starship Trooper. 3 movements of just epicness. I've Seen All Good People. Really great song. Kind of got like a boogie woogie feel. I see no good people turn their heads each day. Yeah, super cool. Perpetual Change is the ending track to this album. Really epic way to end the album. It's just a really cool album. Check this out if you haven't. You like progressive rock. Yes album. Number 96, Toto 4. This is one of the first albums that I picked up in my record collection. Not this particular copy, but a different one. And yeah, this very underrated album. It is so much more than just Africa. Like, all of the songs on here are top notch. Toto is basically a band full of studio musicians, and the songwriting is just top notch on here. Steve Lukather is a great guitar player. Jeff Porcaro is an amazing drummer. You got Bobby Kimball on lead vocals. Rosanna, my favorite song on this album. That song rocks. I love the guitar. I love the end where like the guitar and the piano have like a little duet. Make Believe, really amazing. I Won't Hold You Back, beautiful ballad with orchestrations done by James Newton Howard, which is really cool. Good For You. It's a feeling, really nice. Afraid of Love, that's a rocker, very underrated song from this album. Lovers in the Night, the piano on that, oh my goodness, such a rocker. And the outro guitar solo is just woof. Steve Lukather at his best. We Made It, that's a really funky song. Waiting for Your Love, man, super funky song. And then the big hit is Africa on here. Yeah, perfect album. Very underrated other than the 2 bookends. Check that out. Number 95, we got Fleetwood Mac. With their self-titled 1975 album. So Fleetwood Mac goes through several iterations. The only albums on this list are going to be the ones from this particular lineup here, which features Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham. This was the first album that was done by this lineup and features some of their most well-known songs. Monday Morning is a really good way to open this album. Warm Ways, amazing Christine McVie song. Rhiannon, classic, Stevie Nicks. Over My Head, another amazing song. Crystal was a song that Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks had recorded for their debut album. Their debut album didn't do very well, so they re-recorded it for this album here. Say You Love Me, another amazing song. Landslide, another classic song from Stevie Nicks. World Turning, really good. Yeah, this is just a fantastic album and great bass playing and drumming from Fleetwood and Mac. Okay, number 94. We got Glass Houses by Billy Joel. Glass Houses by Billy Joel. This is Billy Joel's kind of new wave, kind of hard rock album that he did in the 80s, and this style fits him very well. You May Be Right, classic. I love how the album cover is him about to throw a rock at a glass house, and the first sound you hear on this album is the sound of glass breaking. That guitar riff that comes in, you may be right, I may be crazy, really good. Sometimes a Fantasy, another really good song. Don't Ask Me Why is amazing. I love kind of the Latin feel to it, and I love the piano solo. Still Rock and Roll to Me is a classic. Kind of the song that introduced me to this album. All for Lena, really underrated. Probably my second favorite song on this album. Cool electric piano sounds, great chord progressions. It's just very, very good, very underrated song by him. I Don't Want to Be Alone Anymore. That's another really good one. Sleeping with the Television On. Yeah, really good Billy Joel 80s stuff there. Number 93, we got Dire Straits with Brothers in Arms. This is going to be the only Dire Straits album on this list, but Mark Knopfler is a fantastic guitar player. So Far Away, really good opening. Most people know this album for the song Money for Nothing. Amazing guitar riff, features Sting singing the I Want My MTV part, kind of about these dumb guys who are criticizing rock stars that they just make money for nothing while they're slaving away moving color TVs and microwave ovens. It's really funny. Your Latest Trick has a really good saxophone intro, really cool. Why Worry, that's a great song. Right Across the River is really good. Man's Too Strong. One World, super funky. And then title track, Brothers in Arms. Really good record, and funny enough, this was kind of the first major album released on CD. So if you get the CD version, you can get extended versions of the songs. 92, we got Minute by Minute by the Doobie Brothers. This is going to be the only Doobie record on here. I could have put Captain and Me or Toulouse Street or Winter Once Vices Are Now Habits. I ended up going with this one because it's just a vibe. This is probably their best-selling album here, or best-known album. Has the big hit What a Fool Believes. Amazing song. I love the piano. Michael McDonald's voice is amazing. Oh, why are all the tracks out of order on the back? I hate it when they do that. Okay, Here to Love You, great way to open the album. We already talked about What a Fool Believes. That is such an amazing song. Minute by Minute, I love the keyboard intro. Do, 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 and the chorus. Minute by minute by minute by minute. Depending on You is great. Don't Stop to Watch the Wheels. That's kind of more reminiscent of their early sound, sung by Pat Simmons. Great song, killer guitar riff. Open Your Eyes, Sweet Feelin'. Oh, and the final song, How Did the Fool Survive? Amazing. Number 91. This is going to be the last one on the list. And no, this is not actually the album. It's a different album. It is not Aladdin Sane. I just got this to remind me it was a Bowie album, but it's one of the Bowie albums that I don't have. And that's going to be Scary Monsters and Super Creeps by David Bowie. It features some of his most well-known songs, and honestly is a really good combination of both artistic and commercial music. Running Up the Hill Backwards, really cool title track, features some really manic guitar work by Robert Fripp, who was on that King Crimson album that we had earlier. Ashes to Ashes is amazing. I love the piano. I love the callbacks to Major Tom. It's got Fashion, really good bass line, and really funky song. Teenage Wildlife, another really good one. Yeah, really, really good Bowie album. I don't have it, but I have this to remind me of that. So just to recap, number 100 was The Court of the Crimson King by King Crimson. Number 99 was Brain Salad Surgery by Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Number 98 was Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen. Number 97 is the Yes album by Yes. Number 96 was Toto 4 by Toto. Number 95 was Fleetwood Mac's self-titled 1975 album. Number 94 was Glass Houses by Billy Joel. Number 93 was Brothers in Arms by Dire Straits. Number 92 was Minute by Minute by the Doobie Brothers. And 91 was Scary Monsters by David Bowie. So hopefully you'll join in next time when we go from number 90 to number 81. Go through the 80s, and see you next time.